Welcome back, everybody. You requested it, so the weekly Forex outlook and reviews are now back. We're going to be going over 10 pairs today, and the pairs that we're going to be going over are over here in the far right. Dollar index, Euro USD, Pound USD, USD JPY, Gold, Pound Yen, USD Cad, Euro JPY, USD Swiss Franc, and Aussie Dollar JPY. Remember, the analysis that I'm about to do now are of my own opinion. These are not signals. So however you plan to trade them is your responsibility. We're going to make this a 10-minute weekly Forex outlook and reviews every single Sunday. And if you guys continue to support the channel, then I'll be able to keep it going. So the first pair that we're going to take a look at is the dollar index. The first thing that I'm looking at is a market structure to the upside. We're making higher highs and higher lows. What I do see is slightly to the left, we do have an area in the market where prices reacted to, and we can see that we wasn't able to break above this previous structure. This is the current high, and what I'm identifying is an area in the market where price came to previously, with no indication to the left as to why we've had this rally to the downside. And if you've seen my previous YouTube video on how to identify key levels, you will see that once price comes to these levels, more often than not, we're going to see price react to them. What I also have to bear in mind is that price was not able to break below the structure at the close of last week. What I will be anticipating next week is to see how price comes back to this key level to collect some orders before we have a rally to the downside. Even though this is a buy structure, I'm not looking for buys. I feel that the market is extended, and we'll be able to identify that on a daily time frame where you can clearly see we have a strong push to the upside into a previous structural area. So for that reason, I'll be looking for more sells than I will be buys. What I'll look out for my second scenario is to see how price breaks, closes below the structure, and then I'll be looking for some sort of retest, lower high formations for a continuation to the downside. So for the dollar index, if we have that slight pullback into this key level, I'll be looking to see how price reacts to this level. And if we don't, and we have this continued bearish pressure, I'll be looking to see how price breaks this structure for a retest, lower high continuation. So the next pair that we'll take a look at is Euro USD. We can clearly see that the structure of this market is very strong to the downside. We were recently sitting in a consolidation area where price wasn't able to break out for a long period of time. Prices finally broke out of that structure, and we see the retest of that structure price came back into, and we failed to break back into the structure. But with this information, what we see is a continuation to the downside, and now we can see a level in the market where price is reacting to a lot. If we break this structure down, we have a strong bullish pressure to the upside, and we have a higher low formation here. So this is potentially indicating a reversal on this market. If we go down to the lower time frames, on the hourly time frame, you will see this push phase, exhaustion, push phase. But we do have a problem. There's an area in this market where price is failing to break above. So for that reason, previous behavior does not need to be here. I'll be able to take the structural high and where price is reacting to now, and now I can gauge what I'm looking for. So for this reason, I'm not going to trade the range. I'll wait for price to break out, retest this level for a continuation to the upside, or I'll be waiting for price to break below the structure, retest, and then continue to the downside. And that's my analysis on Euro USD. Just waiting for a little bit more confirmation. The next pair that we'll take a look at is Pound USD. With this market structure, we can clearly see that price was really pushing to the downside quite strong, and then we've had this pullback lower high. Now with this formation, we never broke and closed below this structure again to make that new lower low. We actually made a higher low and a retest of that structure. So for that reason, I can join the dots, and I can see at this moment in time, price is sitting within a consolidation. So what I'm going to be waiting for is the same scenario that we looked at on Euro USD, and I'm simply going to be waiting for more confirmation of bullish or bearish bias, waiting for price to break, close above and retest previous structure, or break below, retest, and continue to the downside following this strong momentum. In all honesty, I'm more buy bias with Pound USD, but for now, I still need more confirmation. The next pair that we'll take a look at is USD JPY. As you can see, there's been a lot of consolidation across the board with the last three pairs that we looked at, Euro USD, Pound USD, and now USD JPY. It's very simple to see with this structure on the market that price is sitting within a consolidation again. There's no true directional bias, but what we do know is that this price action was to the downside previously. And now we're sitting in an area in the market where we could see an accumulation phase. So for that reason, I'm more buy bias with USD JPY, but I can't buy within this consolidation. Anytime I buy, I may be finding myself dealing with an area in the market we're not able to break. So for that reason, what I'm going to be looking for is simply clear directional bias again which is going to be a break above, retest, continuation to the upside, and again, a break below, retest, and continuation to the downside. Now remember, you guys might be saying, well, why are you always waiting for a breakout to the upside or to the downside? Forex, trading, this business is a waiting game. You must be patient, and once the market clearly identifies a true directional bias, then that's when you should go in for the kill. We cannot preempt that the market's going to do something, especially when it's sitting in consolidation and there's no clear directional bias. So for that reason, I'm waiting patiently. The next pair that we'll take a look at is gold. Now, with gold's bias, we can see that the market structure is bullish. Price has been pushing to the upside. We haven't had any indication of a reversal yet. But again, what we can see slightly to the left is price is now reacting to an area in the market where there was no evidence as to why we had this rally to the downside. And again, we have a formation that's forming. We have a level where price created a level and now is reacting to a level. Now, does this mean we're going to the downside? Well, not just yet. What we want to see if we're going to go to the downside is we want to see price continue to push to the downside, make a lower high formation of this structure, and then we can start to anticipate this reversal. But for now, the structure of this market is bullish and it seems very strong to the upside with no clear directional bias of whether we're going to be reversing. And until we take out this structural low, I will be waiting patiently. For buys, we cannot buy into this key level just in case we can't break it. So I'll be looking for the price action to break above, retest, and then continue for continued buys on gold. And that's my analysis. The next pair that we'll take a look at is pound JPY. With this structure of the market, we can clearly see that it's down. We are again sitting, unfortunately, in another consolidation where price is failing to break above or below structure. The key levels that I would be concerned about if I look to sell the market is a structural low, just in case we don't break it. And in terms of buying, well, again, we need to see this market structure break out of this range. I see it more down than I do up, but what I'll be looking for is to see how price reacts for continuation buys, and then for stronger continuation buys, I'd like to see a strong push, break out of this consolidation, a retest, and then a continuation to the upside. The next pair that we'll take a look at is USD Cad. With this market structure, we can clearly see we may have now started the reversal. We've broken a level in the market where price was failing to break above for a long time. We have created a high on this market structure with a very nice double top, lower high formation, strong push phase, exhaustion, and now I want to see how price starts to react in and around these levels here. For continuation sells, I'm going to be looking for price to leave, break, violate previous structure, then come back for a double top or a lower high, and then I'll be looking to sell this market once I get that true confirmation. If price continues to push up and breaks above this structure, then I'm going to avoid buys at this moment in time. As we have recently seen, the trend has changed, so it makes no sense for me to look for buys just yet. Unless we come back to some of these key levels and we start breaking and violating them, I'm still sell bias on USD Cad. The next pair that we'll take a look at is Euro JPY. This market structure has been pushing to the downside for a very long time. I don't see why this is going to change as of yet. And for that reason, I'll mark my key levels, which I'll identify in and around this level here. And what I'll be waiting for is to see how price comes back for a retest and then a continuation. Simple analysis. I don't need to keep it complicated. I want to see that pullback into a key level in the market, and then I'll be looking for that continuation. The next pair that we'll take a look at is USD Swiss Franc. This market structure is clearly to the upside. There are strong signs that we may be entering a reversal. So for that reason, I'll be looking for sells on this market structure and not buys. And I'll be waiting for price to come back to this key level again, show a reaction, and see a continuation to the downside. In terms of structural lows, I'm not going to be selling into these levels here, just in case we have a bounce. So for that reason, if I'm going to continue selling and we don't have that pullback, I'll be waiting for price to push, break close below the structure, and then be looking for this continuation back to the downside. Buying opportunities is only going to happen if price is able to break and close above this structure. The final pair that we'll take a look at is Aussie dollar JPY. Now I'm going to be monitoring how price reacts to this level again. We can see that a level was created and then we had a strong rally to the downside, indicating that in and around this level there must be sellers. But the last time we tapped into it, we did have a reaction, but we never had the rally. So for that reason, we can't overlook the fact that this market structure is still bullish, but it makes no sense to sell into this key level. So what I'm going to be doing is seeing how price continues to push up. If we start to break and violate these structures, I get it, it's still bullish. But of course, I'm still not going to be buying into this key level. I want to see how price comes in, reacts, and see if we have a change in structure, which I'll be looking for my lower highs and sells. And as a low, I'll be looking to see how price reacts in and around this level to see if we have a breakout, retest, continuation. But I must wait patiently for these levels to be either respected or violated before I make a true directional bias. With this extension and with this key level, I'll be looking for sells more than I'll be looking for buys, even though it's bullish structure. But anyway, we'll see how it goes. So I hope that was useful. I hope that provides you with some informative information that you can use with your analysis. And just remember, these are just my thoughts, so please don't take them as signals. We'll see how the market moves next week, and every single day we'll gauge it and go from there. But as I always say, if you're enjoying the content, please like, subscribe, turn on notifications, and until next time, take care.